Rusty. Frank. Korea. Austria. Jamaica. The Pan.
Oh shit, here we go again.
大家好，今天我们想讨论语言和魔音。我们是 Oh, for God's sake, I give up. Chinese is hard.
Wobbly wiggly wobbly wiggly wobbly wiggly.
Today we're going to be looking at memes from around the world. I'm talking those bizarre things that pop up in your feed here and there, talking about some kurva or some bombaclat or some bosh.
You know what's funny? I never knew you could speak English.
You know, I didn't either. I only just started speaking it a few days ago. Anyway, I saw these memes and I thought they were funny. But then I started thinking, is there something of academic note we can pull from these?
艾沃尔德瑟斯霍姆维沃奇格拉斯格罗
Probably not, but that's no reason not to try. Now, in recent times, the current global hegemon has made perhaps a few questionable moves regarding its continuing status as the most powerful nation, and people the world over are looking to other nations, mainly China, as potentially becoming the new big boss of the world, even in our memes, funnily enough. But I'm not here to talk about that. If you want to tune into Donny T News 24/7, try pretty much any other channel nowadays. I'm talking about this fucking thing, and these fucking things, and all of these, baby! 我叫Lil Crispy，
我叫 Gloop，
欢迎来到 Memology in Depth。 Ever since the existence of forts, we've needed to send one idea somewhere else, and over the years, we've gotten really good at it. The first radio transmission over the sea was from the Isle of Wight to Lavernock near Cardiff in Wales. The funniest part about that, I think, is that despite sending the first radio transmission in history, if you go there today, you'll be lucky if you can connect to the weather app. I digress. Nowadays, we're sending so many messages so far and so fast, it's almost impossible to track the spread of ideas, and importantly, where they're coming from. Russia. Regardless, wherever you are in the world nowadays, except the Isle of Wight for whatever reason, you can check your emails, the weather, and you can watch a social media feed filled with AI slop. Yay! When you think about it, it's kind of funny how our internet highways developed. The internet was conceptualized originally as a way for the highest ranking members of the US military to be able to communicate with each other in the event of a very big war.
Sounds like someone breaking in!
Just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
With very big bombs that make their country uninhabitable and filled with roaches and radiation. The internet developing as a tool for cross-cultural communication is actually almost entirely antithetical to why it was made in the first place. A strangely beautiful thing we often forget is how this whole series of tubes and wires and TikTok trends was created so the most powerful among us can survive nuclear fallout, and now we have the potential to use it to prevent such a war ourselves. Or not. It's up to you, really. I can understand if you're a bit busy, that Switch 2 ain't gonna pay for itself.
Here's a cool hack. I'm currently holding the president of Nintendo hostage in a secret bunker. With enough luck, they'll trade me a Switch 2 for his life.
你很送命，我的朋友，非常明智。Point is, we weren't supposed to be able to talk to anyone anywhere else in the world at any time completely free. We weren't supposed to have unlimited access to all human knowledge at the tip of our fingers, held within a tiny microwave-powered rectangle we keep next to our balls 24/7. But we do, and I think we're both a lot richer and a lot poorer for it. Overall equaling out to just a bit of a
Meh.
In the English-speaking world, we've made some great advancements, mainly hating every other country. But who do we hate the most? And why? Think about this. Have you ever tried saying mean things to a dog? I hope you haven't, because then I'd be quite concerned. But if you have, you'd notice they don't understand a word you're saying. Now, if you were to then say those words to let's say, a small child.
Goo goo gaga. I want milk.
Again, I'd be concerned, but they'd probably have much more of a reaction to it. When we all have a shared history and can very fluently understand each other,
Blah 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 blah.
The insults fly freely. The Anglophone world interacting with each other usually boils down to those same points you see over and over again. The Yankee Doodles make fun of us Brits for having a refined, sophisticated vernacular, humble, hearty, and modest food, and teeth that... Okay, this one I can't spin. I've seen enough geezers with teeth rotting out of their head to say the Yanks might be onto something there. But of course the rest of us have a good old chuckle about the Yanks having uninhabitable cities, unaffordable healthcare, and a central intelligence agency that's actively working to undermine and destroy communities of people living within the country. And Aussies like to box kangaroos.
That's cool.
Anywho, the fact that everyone from the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or the States speaks the same language means that our vastly different cultures, separated by thousands of miles for hundreds of years, are finally allowed to clash at an interpersonal level for everyone. And we've spawned some very interesting memes as a result.
He fucked my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth! That's right, this is what you get! My super laser pair!
For the most part, the world isn't as insular as it once was. In the 1800s, you could probably put a banana in a museum and people would show up to gawk at it. Now we have pretty much one of every living creature in zoos and enclosures all over the world just waiting to be oogled at. And instead, we'd rather sit at home watching a stick guy on the internet yap about memes for 20 minutes. I suppose it's more cost effective though. Ever since the advent of fast, intercontinental travel and freezing technologies, we can import and export culture from one side of the planet to the other and herald its arrival with viral TikTok marketing campaigns.
What is this one?
Our interconnected world can be very easily tracked through memes. Today, people won't shut up about Dubai chocolate, Love Island, and whatever the hell Labubu is. But that cultural cross-contamination could have never happened in years previous. Dubai chocolate comes from, well, obviously Dubai, in the UAE, made using cocoa from South America and pistachio from somewhere else.
The United States, Turkey, and Iran, apparently.
Cheers, Glop. Labubu is a Chinese product, and Love Island is a British show, shipped overseas and spreading at alarming rates. Like any other meme, these ones have infected the minds of netizens the world over, spanning 3 continents and being injected squarely into our brains. As a British person, I do apologize for Love Island. Not one of our greatest deeds. Like I said earlier, the intercontinental meme has made our societies both richer and poorer culturally, and while the DCLLI trend might not be great, You know what, I don't have a nice spin I can put on this. This isn't a wholesome form of cross-cultural exchange like Don Pollo or Big John, global figures revered internationally as representatives of their culture. This is just late-stage consumerism brain rot. Labubu is far from the best thing to come out of China. But what is the best thing to come out of China? Well... their internet. This f***ing panda thing, whatever this is. Freaky uncle. Yap dollar.
Gautier once said, "It is better to bestow the yeast of 1,000 mycelium upon the face of a newborn than to take a shit at the local gas station."
Master Seafood. I'm at a payphone. Not Rappin' Dog. You're not invited. The boss of the car engine factory, Mrs. Aluminium, trumped by Ryan.
See trees of green.
Elsie Science Tony. I could go on, but I think it's best if we slow down and analyze these examples closer, and why they're such interesting pieces of cultural exchange. Initially, I was planning on making this whole video about the Chinese internet, but I thought the global internet had a bit more depth to it. Although someone probably could make a whole documentary about Chinese memes in the West, because they are a very fascinating cultural turning point. Obviously, citizens of mainland China were blocked from mainstream Western internet sites for many years, and the breaking down of the so-called Great Firewall was a slow and gradual process. The f***ing panda thing, a meme format known as Biaoqing, or facial expression, showed up on the Western internet as early as the mid-2010s, and they were so low quality and grainy, it looked like someone smuggled them through the Gobi Desert and over the border in a basket on a flying bike like E.T. dodging surface-to-air missiles and escaping to the glorious nation of North Korea, who, I might add, have just finished building Benidorm 2.
Ooh, I like Benidorm.
The reason these things are so funny to me is because once upon a time you could have said that they were parallels to what Rage comics were. Another thing I should probably do a video on. But now they're seen more as the Chinese equivalent to Wojaks. Again, another Western meme born internationally in Polish influences. A simple black and white guy with a face meant to depict a specific, unique emotion that can be used by any netizens. What makes it so great is the fact that, despite how different the faces are and how it's used culturally, they show us that the Western and Chinese internet really are just filled with the same kinds of people. Weirdos. Funny weirdos, though. It's the best kind of weirdos. I always find as it's best kind of weirdos are the funny ones. Like the people I hired to my cabinet. It's really great. So great. Now, the personalities, they're a different beast. Biaoqing Panda can serve as a surrogate representative for millions of people. The internet personalities, however, cannot. They represent the on-the-ground cultural, day-to-day aspects of society. They provide us an insight into the humor and the attitudes of Chinese people across the Sinophone world. That's mainland China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, and Malaysia, and maybe some other countries here, but those are the main ones, I think. I don't know, I'm sorry. I didn't do my research. Our favorite Trump impersonator.
Besides you, of course.
No, Glorp, he is our favorite Trump impersonator. Trumped by Ryan, he comes from Chongqing, a city very deep in the country, far from historic cultural exchange points of large ports connecting the rest of the world. In fact, it wasn't even a city that was part of the Silk Road, but through a quite frankly scarily accurate Trump impression.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is a tremendous day, truly tremendous.
Ryan gives us a personalized tour of the city.
Guys, you know where we are? We're in Chongqing, China. Look at this. We're literally in the sky. Look at this. It's so high.
It's the culture and the lingo.
I'm gonna teach you better Chinese than anybody does. So the first word is what's out. Look at this. So it literally means holy shit.
I feel like I should censor that. Also, we have Master Seafood, or Seafood if you feel inclined, a Taiwan breakdancer who goes around solving the world's problems with his great intellect and athletic ability.
谢谢。有能力就一定要去帮助别人，知道吗？知道了。
We can also use this to help understand the differences in Taiwanese and mainland Chinese culture, one heavily influenced by the West and the other vehemently opposed to it. Or what about Mrs. Aluminium, who sells us wonderful houses to live in? This is cool, I like this. And the boss of the car factory, the car engine factory, this is cool. I want to buy just an engine that's just stored at a big factory here. Who wouldn't? That's great. This is. Who is buying these? That's one thing I want to know. Who is buying these?
I'm no punk bitch. I ain't no punk bitch neither. I'm no punk bitch.
And to conclude this part on China, let's discuss the cultural melding on sites like TikTok, Twitter, or Rednote, otherwise known as Biaoqing. The looming TikTok ban of late 2024 pushed many American users towards using Rednote instead, which was hilarious because the reason TikTok was facing a ban was because the US government thought it was ran by the CCP. It wasn't, so users switched to Rednote. The service ran under CCP law.
Another big win for the US of A, baby!
Regardless, the interactions were quite funny at the time, and while the whole thing was just a quick scare for the site, everything going back to normal soon after, the cultural wall has been knocked down. We now have a permanent bridge to the Chinese internet we can cross at any time. Weibo, WeChat, Douyin, they're all free for us to look at and interact with at any time. Definitely a big step towards the global meme.
And of course, the biggest point of note for mentioning the interactions between Western and Chinese culture as of recent over the internet, Gillespie. I'm not gonna go into much depth on it. He went to China, he had a blast, he streamed the whole thing, and he got to show people kind of an unfiltered view of what it's like on the ground in China. And honest to God, I think it's probably one of the greatest unintentional PR campaigns ever done. So there's that. Congratulations, Speed.
Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
Here's a fun video in another language for you.
Ach du grüne Neune, Matcha Tiramisu. Also hiermit komme ich nicht weit. Ach, den großen brauche ich. Oh Baby, komm her zu mir. Oh. Test mal. Oh, lecker.
Now tell me, did you understand what it was trying to convey? Of course you did. Physical performance is a universal language. With the internet, we can make humorous skits and tell surprisingly impactful stories to the world, regardless of whether or not you speak the language. When passing on our memes, visuals are key, much more so than our words. If you happen to plan on spreading some memes here and there, stop and consider how well your visuals communicate your ideas, and whether or not you could compress your ideas into a more visual format. If you do, spreading them further across the world becomes a lot easier. It's why these f***ass videos do gangbusters and video essays stay banished to this little corner of the internet. Here's a funny cap.
I like this.
So when it comes to the global meme, what we're going to be looking at here is some really cool videos that you can watch that are in completely different languages, but you can understand them entirely, almost, simply because of the power of their visual storytelling. Listen and make notes.
哦不，谢老板已经警告过我了。你是个骗子，你是陷阱。
Truco rumano, chavales. Después del chocolate de Dubai, llega a vosotros el chocolate de Rumanía, chavales. Mira esto, mira qué belleza, chavales. Eso está riquísimo, chavales.
Well, we've been to America, briefly stopped in the Levant, went over Asia. I suppose this time we stopped in the birthplace of mass cross-cultural exchange. Europe. Now, I'm gonna make a bold assumption here and state that you probably understand English.
Can you speak English? Fuck you!
Maybe you even understand or can speak other languages. And one thing that becomes quite apparent if you've spoken English for long enough is that most other European languages sound quite similar. I don't have much analysis to lend to this subject, I just think it's funny. Aside from the humor and the fact that despite them speaking a completely different language, we can infer almost exactly what they meant through similar words. That typical Western European attitude of looking down their noses at us peasantry comes through very clearly.
Sacre bleu!
All jokes aside, I think there's something strangely wholesome about experiencing a whole other culture through a random assortment of sounds we don't even understand. Let's have a look at some examples. Culture is a fascinating thing, isn't it? Memes are primarily a vessel through which culture can be spread. It's no surprise that the modern internet seems to be funneling us towards an interconnected superculture, jumping from one niche to the next to mine it for all its value. Salt Bay and Skibbity Bop Guy come from Turkey. Skibbity Toilet was made in the American game Garry's Mod by a Russian and has infected the minds of kids globally. The memes cross continents at lightning speed. You can't keep up with them. You can't stop them. They are truly viral. And I mean that in the sense of like a virus. As in a yucky, ew, yucky, like you get Dr. Mario to do something about this. With the internet, we've opened the floodgates. There's no going back. The best we can do is enjoy the fun stuff and do our best to survive the pernicious, corroding, consumerist trends sucking the life out of our culture.
Why does this series always end on such downer notes?
They're not downers, they're just, well, honest. The world kinda sucks however you slice it, really, and the inevitable endpoint of culture is one big profits-based mess that has no point besides selling you a new chair and a vase.
I like a nice vase.
So do I, and that's just it, my little green friend. Yes, the world sucks, but that's no reason we can't eke out little pockets of something worth enjoying here and there. Like a walk with friends, a nice recipe, a good song, or a good meme. Hey, Glop?
Going back to that song example.
Yeah, you already know, baby!
Shout out the Prince of Darkness!
Not healing,
love's a bitter shame. We're going up the rails on a crazy train. Crispy, you're way out of time.
Come on, man.
Going up the rails on a crazy train.
Oh, Glob, I didn't know you could hit it like that. Thanks for watching. And thanks for putting up with my slow ass too. I know I took my sweet time with this one. So look, I'm gonna make it up to you guys. In the next video, and I've already scripted it by the time I upload this, so you should expect it within like 2 weeks, maybe? I don't know. Sorry again. I would promise to be more punctual in the future, but I'm not very reliable or efficient or good at coming up with ideas for videos. Whoops. Righto, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!